Hi Pisces, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol. Pisces, this is going to be a general reading. There's no date on this reading, so I trust that if you find it in your feed, it's meant for you. So we're going to be doing a check-in today, and I'm going to be using the Curious Travels deck, as well as clarifying it with the Radiant Rider-Waite deck. And I'm going to start off by asking the tarot for one card for what situation, problem, or issue you're dealing with right now. So one card for that, please. The Wheel of Fortune. And we're also going to be looking at what's coming up from your shadow for healing. And so your shadow is in your unconscious, all those things that you've repressed and you've put away when you were younger. That is going to have the most impact right now on this problem and this situation that you're dealing with. If you need any more help with shadow work, I've left a video at the end for you. And it's taken from my other channel called Carol Cares, and it's all about shadow work. And you can have a look at that if you like. And so, yeah, what's coming up from Pisces shadow right now that is affecting and driving this Wheel of Fortune issue problem that Pisces is having right now. You have the 10 of Wands in reverse. And finally, some advice from the tarot. And remember that this is a journey. This is the healing journey that we're all on, even though not all of us know that. And it's a process, and so we start to one little step at a time, right? We can't, there's just no way you can heal it all at once. It's one little step at a time. So that's what the universe is going to suggest right now for you, is how you can start. Well, the 7 of Swords comes out here. All right, so I'm going to get a couple clarifiers for each of these cards. The Wheel of Fortune, a couple cards for that. One more card. All right, you have the 6 of Cups and the 4 of Swords in reverse. 10 of Wands. Couple cards for that. The King of Cups. And one more card. It came up quick. The Ace of Pentacles in reverse. And finally, for the 7 of Swords, please, a couple cards for that. One. One more. Oh, well, it's 2 more. Okay. Okay, so you have the 4 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, and the Hierophant card. All right, so what issue are you dealing with right now, Pisces? Well, I think you're wanting some closure, and that's what the Wheel of Fortune comes out. You're wanting some closure on something. The Wheel of Fortune talks about... Actually, no, I'm mixing this up. I apologize. I see the wheel and I often... Yeah, no, let's start over. I won't start off the reading over, but the Wheel of Fortune, talks about the change. There's been a change of circumstance. Yeah, so, the Wheel of Fortune, the wheel of life, it turns and things happen, right? But it can see here that there's been a real change right now of circumstance for you. And oftentimes, whether or not this change of circumstance can be traumatic will depend on how we react to it. So I see here that there's definitely the 6 of Cups that come up behind it is this inner child card. And so I'm wondering if there's a part of you, your inner child, that is, I think because this is what's happening here, that has really brought up some really deep emotions for you that are needing healing. And our inner children, when they come up right away like that, that's a part of us that needs healing. It's that inner part of you that couldn't handle these big emotions when you were younger. And so it held on to them, and it holds on to our memories. They need healing. They need to be listened to. They need to be heard, and they need to be understood, and they need to feel. So because of this change of circumstance that's happened for you right now, there's this big need for you that's come up for you to feel. And it's going to be pulling out some real heavy stuff from your shadow here. And we'll look at that in a minute. But there's some real stuff, heavy stuff, feelings, emotions that are coming out for you right now. And then you have the Four of Swords in reverse. In an upright position, the Four of Swords says it's time for you to take some rest here. You really need to take some rest. You really need to start grounding yourself, grounding your mind, because there's some real big emotions that are coming up for you here because of whatever has taken place. But there's a resistance on your part to doing it. You're not wanting to feel these emotions. You know, it could be something like a breakup. That's a huge change of circumstance, right? A relationship of some sort has ended. And maybe, you know, you're not willing to feel it yet. There's this real part of you that needs to feel these emotions. So let's take a look at what's driving this, because oftentimes in our own conscious world, the patterns that are happening to us, the things that are happening to us, and when we start to see this on our healing journey, are things that happened to us when we were younger, and they repeat themselves so that we go back to the original source and heal that. And so I'm seeing here that, you know, there's something that happened to you when you were younger. The Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands speaks about some real heavy burdens that you had when you were younger. And they did you in. It's in reverse here. It's in your shadow. And here's this card that mirrors it right here, this Wheel of Fortune. This is this major change of circumstance for you. And these are these burdens, something that happened to you. Could be many things that happened to you when you were younger that just did you in as a child. And then what happens is when you have these major circumstances that do you in, these painful events when you were younger, you cannot handle what happened to you when you were younger. And so this is where our king kicks in. And this is our ego self. The king in my deck is the ego self. It's the masculine part of us. And we identify with this ego self. Our ego self is our protector. And the problem with the ego self is that it protects us when we're younger. When these big things happen to us when we're younger, and we have these big emotions, we can't handle big emotions when you're younger. So the ego comes in and it pulls us out of our body and it puts us right up in our head. Because we don't feel our emotions in our head, we feel them in our body. And so as a younger child, you would have been in your body, very young. But when these things start to happen to us, right away the ego self kicks in and says, you can't feel those emotions. I'm going to protect you. And I'm going to bring you, I'm going to dissociate you, is what it is. I'm going to bring you in your head. And here's the Ace of Pentacles, that offer to be. The pentacle is the body. It's the offer, the offer from the universe. It's the gift from the universe that we have when we're brought into this world, where we are in our body. It's the gift of the body. It's beautiful. We all have this gift to be in our body and to be grounded. But as a child, you couldn't. That's what I said. You were taken out of your body. It's in reverse over here. And so what's happening here is you have this pain that the ego has protected you all along from, and you were taken out of your body. And so when you're asked, because of the circumstance that has just taken place, and you have all these emotions that you need to deal with, and you know that, and when you're needing some real rest here to take some time out to ground your mind. Well, guess what's happening is you don't want to do that, because if you do, it's going to bring up not only, do you have to deal with the emotions right now that are happening to you, but it's going to bring up all this pain from childhood that your ego self has blocked for you. And the ego self will continue to do it because it still thinks it's doing you a favor. And that's why it's so important to get to ground and get back into your body. I'm going to leave you with a couple of videos. One's going to be a video on how to do shadow work. And on that video, it talks about grounding and how to ground. And I'll give you some links as to some more videos I've done for you to how to get back into your body. And it's taken from my other channel called Carol Cares. And so finally, I'm going to look at what guidance does the tarot have for you to start to help you with this, because there's definitely some emotions that are needing to be felt, some healing that needs to be done, and we do it a little bit at a time. It's a process. And so I think the universe says, okay, we have to start off with the Seven of Swords. And Seven of Swords is a card of, in an upright position, it talks about, it's called the Thief card. And it talks about, it's got this sly fox on here, because the sly fox has run away with these 4 swords. And swords are our mental energy, our mental thought patterns, and you have to become aware of what your mental thought patterns are in relation to feeling. Swords are the things that we collect when we're younger, and people give them to us. And there's a real resistance to you at looking at this. What did you learn about emotions when you were younger? Why do you fear emotions? And this is what this card is all about. It's time now that you start to look at what are these beliefs. That's what those swords are. What are these beliefs that you have about emotions? You need to start unraveling that so that you can start to feel. The next card that comes out is the 4 of Wands. And Wands is a suit that takes you towards your purpose, towards your authenticity, your creativity. And this is really a card of, it's called the Victory card. It's a card of stepping away finally. And I think that once you start to examine and look at what sort of things do you believe about emotions, when you start to, turn that card upright and start to look at some of that, it's really going to take you into a new direction, a real direction of victory for yourself. And I can see here that you have a lot of distractions, I think, going on as well. The 2 of Pentacles talks about this individual that's very ungrounded and is trying to multitask. And I'm wondering if you are one of those people that is busy, multitasks, tries to keep sort of busy, because I can tell that, you're somebody that's very much in your head, and we stay up in our head by keeping ourselves very, very busy, very, very distracted by things around us. The last card that comes out is the Hierophant card. It's a very important card when it comes out. I really like this card. It talks about how we were wired when we were younger. What sort of things did we learn? These individuals that are they're like sponges, these 2 individuals at the bottom, right? They're listening to this papal figure spew out all the stuff he knows, and they're just taking it all in. And when you're younger, you really were a sponge. You took in so many of these swords that people told you. And so it's really time for you to start to rewire what you've been taught about your emotions, about feeling, because I think this is what this change of circumstance has brought for you, is this almost like it's forcing you to look at what do you feel about, getting back into your body and starting to feel again, starting to rewire all those things that you've been taught when you were younger. And so, Pisces, I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through right now. This is definitely the most difficult journey of your life, the healing journey, but it's the most important one. So take time out for yourself. You need it. You're worth it. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.